Hello? I can see the light on in that room.
Come in. We've been expecting you.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
You must be the sixth recipient of the mysterious letter. Yeah, we're 1 through 5. Unfortunately for you and your first impression, you're late. But on a positive note, we did all the exposition so you don't have to.
Why do you have to say it so creepy like that?
Sorry. I was trying to break the ice by doing something out of character. I'm not very good at doing first impressions.
What about this letter? I received a letter. I've got it right here. It says,
meet here at midnight for a chance to be one of 6 mortals to command the army of the dead. ... This is not a joke. All written in bat's blood. This was the conversation you just missed.
We were all chosen for a reason. My name is Cassie. I am the founder of the Pacific Northwest chapter of Raising Spirits, a collective of mediums who provide encouraging words to our dearly departed. Our existentially challenged should be loved, not hunted. Just think of all the free counseling I could provide if I commanded the army of the dead. I could finally help Lizzie Borden bury the hatchet.
I actually am a ghost hunter, but I catch and release, if that helps.
This was the next stop on my haunted road atlas.
I literally ghost everyone I meet, including my mother.
and what about you?
Since I tragically lost my cat, Timmy Whiskertits, I've been on a quest to bring him back to life. I've tried everything from making a wish in a Zoltar machine to burying him in Stephen King's Pet Cemetery. But no matter which 80s movie I decide to imitate, nothing has worked. I figured an Evil Dead type situation was a logical next step for me.
I'm so sorry to hear about your cat.
Thank you. Addiction is just as much a problem in the animal kingdom as it is in our world.
Catnip?
Cocaine. And what brings you here, our late 6th member?
Well, my name is Alicia, and I really like podcasts. I guess you could say I'm kind of obsessed. No matter the subject matter, I can zone out and listen to pretty much anything. I've listened to many spooky podcasts before, but I don't think that makes me worthy of sharing a room with Christine Schiefer.
Who?
I think she invented lemons or something.
Actually, you guys, I just remembered that I have another tour starting in like 15 minutes. I can't command my own life with this schedule, let alone an entire army of the dead. Good luck to you all, but I'm gonna head out.
I'm sure whatever the reason, you bring something useful to this spooky opportunity.
What is that?
It appears to be an iPod Nano bound in human skin.
Dead technology!
There's a note. Greetings, intrepid souls. Whatever brought you here, know this. The power to command the army of the dead holds the answers you seek. Before you lies the Necronomicon iPod. Only technology long deceased can traverse the planes between the living and the dead. Stored within its hellish hard drive are 5 podcasts, episodes that will challenge your courage and sanity. Listen to them all before the night is through, and the army of the dead will be yours to control. But beware, these are not just talk shows for millennials. They are tests, each one pushing you to the brink of madness. The choice is yours. Proceed and risk everything to claim what you desire, or turn back now if you value your soul. Mwahahahahaha.
Did you add the mwahaha to try and break the ice again?
No, look, they actually wrote it. It's at the end.
Damn.
I now see why I was chosen for this. I never leave my house without spares when it comes to earbuds. I even have all of the adapters for any audio jack.
You really do love podcasts.
I hate being left alone with my thoughts even more. Here, one for each of you. Put these in your ears. The only way we're gonna do this is if we listen together.
And it looks like the first podcast is a show called Creeps and Crimes.
Let's get creepy.
What the fuck was that?
Sorry, I just really like this podcast.
You know what, Alicia? This is literally a life or death situation, but I like your enthusiasm. Let's get creepy.
Yo, and welcome back to Creeps and Crimes
Podcast.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Morgan, and this is the ultimate Halloween urban legend. It was October 31st, 1962, in a fairly small American town. The type of place where you could leave your doors unlocked. The type of place where, especially on nights like this, children were free to roam and parents didn't have to think twice about it. It was a safe town, and despite the fact that Halloween is a known night for mischievous behavior, this was something that the residents didn't have to worry about. Nothing bad had ever happened in this small town, but that would all end tonight.
The local senior class of 1962, which only had maybe 30 kids in it, decided to meet up for a big party at Marla's house because everyone knew where her dad kept his secret alcohol stash and he would be out of town for the night. By the time 9:30 came around on Halloween night in this small town, the amount of tiny trick-or-treaters on the streets began to dwindle and the teens began taking over. Marla's house was the peak of the action with rowdy high schoolers coming in and out by the dozens. Empty bottles filled the trash cans, laid out in the yard, and were shattered on the walkways. When Tommy cut the music and yelled out for everyone to gather together for a group photo, Tommy stepped back with his brand new Polaroid with flash, Slay, and got the perfect angle to fit everybody in the shot, which was a bit challenging with some of the masks and the costumes, but he managed to fit everyone in.
Including this one person, sitting in the center of the crowd, wearing a black hooded mask that resembled one of an executioner. The significance of this unknown partygoer was far beyond anyone's wildest imagination, but would not be uncovered until the next day. As the hours went by, the memories of the teens got progressively more and more fuzzy. Some recalled fast images of their friends laughing, falling over, singing, and dancing. And some noted strange glances of a dowel rod that they assumed someone had propped on top of an open window from the outside, which only came to mind after Tommy and Marla were found. In her haze, Karen went searching for the two after not having seen them for a while. She stumbled down the hallway to the back bedroom, opened the door, and inside, there was Tommy and Marla.
Their throats were slashed deeply with blood pouring down the front of their bodies. Before Karen could scream out, she felt the sharp pain of a knife slicing through her back and into her right lung. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't scream. Karen fell to the floor in the doorway of the bedroom, where she was seen just seconds later by another partygoer that was searching for the bathroom. Screams erupted and the house bursted into chaos. The teens were panicking, running to the doors and the windows, all of which were now locked and barricaded from the outside. And it sank in. Someone had trapped them.
In that moment, the man in the black hooded mask appeared, swinging a knife around as if it was a movie scene. He was an expert, trained, calculated, and on a rampage. In seconds, 7 of the partygoers, including Tommy, Marla, and Karen, were dead, lying in pools of their combined blood, and the black hooded man was gone through the single window that he had left open for himself. The surviving teens busted out of the house, running to the neighbors, screaming for someone to call for help. The police arrived shortly after.
Interviewing each and every single one of the 85 petrified partygoers, each of them describing the executioner. And one of them handed over that group photo that Tommy had taken. There, in the center, was the man. No one knew who he was or how he got there.
The FBI was called in to assist on the case, and after 7 years, they were finally able to locate that black hooded mask. It was hidden in the dense woods a few miles away from the home, which the FBI still has in their protective custody to this day. But yet, the man, he was never found.
This is the urban legend of the 1962 Halloween Massacre. Okay,
guys.
Clearly that's not real.
It's an urban legend. We would never cover a real true crime case
like that
in a space like this. Not an all-star Halloween show, baby. No, ma'am. That's scary, though.
Can you imagine?
And, I was never able to figure out where this urban legend originated from.
Like what town?
Yeah, because the whole time we were sitting there looking, and guys, I got a little taste of Morgan's Own Medicine because obviously I'm crimes and she's creeps. Baby, how the hell do you find anything? There's nothing.
Right? Sometimes you just gotta make it up.
You just gotta literally roll with it. I swear to God, that's what it felt like.
This happened in the small town.
This small American town. Was it even American?
Sweetwater, Tennessee.
It happened near the Lost Sea. And if you don't know where that is in East Tennessee, y'all better look it up.
All of a sudden, this urban legend is now from Sweetwater, Tennessee.
Now it's in the Lost Sea underground. That's where the executioner lives.
Yeah, but could you even imagine in high school, you're at a Halloween party and this takes place. First off, my suspicion would be raised immediately. Who are you? Take it off.
Right, because
I don't recognize your build or
you're
your
not
voice.
even.
You're not even talking.
I get, yeah. But you know what's even scarier than that? Imagine this being your hometown Halloween lore. I would never
Even
be
scarier,
outside. I would
'cause
never
no
go to a
one caught
party.
him.
Exactly. So you're like, the executioner's still out there. We have no idea where he, like, in my hometown, we had Tall Betsy, and that was it. And Tall Betsy was like, if you're not in bed by 10, you're a has-been.
It's going to be that has-been. You don't get to bed by 10 real quick.
You can't be in the Carmichael or whatever cemetery. And guys, in my hometown, it's so whack. I'm from Cleveland, Tennessee. Tall Betsy is like the only Halloween lore that we have. And I think it's October 1st. In the like side of town, that's the oldest side of town, which Tall Betsy operates on. We have this huge, like 12 to 20 foot. Obviously, I have no.
It's probably 6 foot.
Yeah, no, it's huge. It's like huge. It's taller than a building, so definitely not 12 foot, right? That's like a ceiling in a tall house.
Taller than a building?
It's like a small
So it's
Starbucks
like
kiosk. You know what I mean? So it's got to be like 20 feet at least. Like it's tall.
Like a kiosk? You mean like a sign?
You know, like a Scooter's Coffee. You know, like a Scooter's Coffee, like one of those little kiosks. It's as tall as that, a little taller than that.
I think I'm confused on what a kiosk is.
Okay, not what I mean by a kiosk is like a walk-up drive-through, like a Dutch Bros. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying by a kiosk. Like you can't go in.
I'm picturing like the waving man.
No,
like that tall.
Yeah, taller than that.
Okay,
but it's like a big sign, like a big board sign of Tall Betsy that we put out, and it has like her little saying, "Don't be a has-been."
Don't be a has-been.
I'm like, who the hell paid for that?
See, I don't think we had any Halloween lore where I'm from. Did we have haunted spots? Absolutely.
Yeah,
Did
definitely
we have
haunted
don't
spots.
party there, don't go in that house? 100%. But nothing like...
Was there any lore about like a haunted house on your street that you didn't trick or treat at?
Not on my street because my parents, because we lived in such a rural area that we went to the city to trick or treat. We went to my aunt's house.
Yeah.
But I do remember a couple years in middle school, we would go over to the manor. It was like one of the only housing developments in our school district.
Yeah.
And we would go over to the manor and like we knew to like, not that it was haunted, but like that guy's a creep.
Yeah.
Don't go to that house. Like that kind of stuff.
That
like
type
stay
of
away
stuff.
from that one. It's scary. Like so,
I always wanted
not that I
there to be
remember.
like one like crazy looking scary haunted house like an old woman lives in and watches everyone and you don't go in her yard. Like,
right,
I
like
wish I
Monster
would have
House.
had that. Now I have, yeah, definitely Monster House. Monster House was one of my favorite movies around this time. Of course, The Mummy. It's not called The Mummy, I don't think. We've gone through this every
100
single
times,
year on the podcast, but guys, I know that this is not only our listeners. If you know who The Mummy is, what show I'm talking about, it used to come on at 3 a.m. right before George Lopez.
And I still don't know to this day.
And it was the best movie ever. I loved watching it growing up. Oh, what was another Halloween Disney original?
Halloween Town.
Oh, of course.
Twitches.
Hocus Pocus.
100%.
Practical Magic's coming out with the 2.
I saw that.
I am so beyond excited for this. No one can
Is
even
Sandra Bullock
comprehend.
in it?
Yeah, and Nicole Kidman.
Oh my!
And I think they retained a
God.
few more, but they haven't announced all of them yet.
That's incredible.
I am beyond excited. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for letting us be a part of this. We'll let you go on to the next stop.
Yeah, thanks for listening to our urban legend. That's definitely fake.
Definitely fake.
Is it?
Or is it?
Love you. Bye.
Happy Halloween. Love you. Bye.
Hocus Pocus all day!
Yes. Maybe you're not a total loser after all.
Hey!
Guys, that was way tougher to get through than I expected.
Are you okay?
Oh, definitely. I just really need to pee. Why don't you guys start the next one and I'll catch up? The rules should be fine since I'm not bailing or anything.
I don't see why that wouldn't conveniently fit with the story structure. Here, let's swap numbers just in case you need to reach us in the middle of things.
Got it.
Got it! Pee as quickly and safely as you can. I'll be thinking of you the whole time.
Thanks? What the fuck?
Alright, while my future wife makes a tinkle, let's listen to this next podcast. 2 Girls, 1 Ghost.
Yes, I know that one too.
2 Girls, 1 Ghost? Oh, this is amazing. Finally, a ghost gets a chance to share their story.
We are Corinne and Sabrina of 2 Girls, 1 Ghost, the most haunted podcast in America.
We're talking ghosts, EVPs in episodes, spirits making contact with listeners, orbs darting through our YouTube videos, and so much more.
As paranormal enthusiasts, we explore the darkest, deepest, spookiest places in the world, delivering doses of research, history, and spine-tingling tales.
If possessed kids crawling backwards up walls, campers entranced in fairy orgies, and creatures chasing drivers through back roads is your kind of thing, then tune into Two Girls, One Ghost wherever you listen to podcasts.
New episodes are released every Thursday and every Sunday.
Satisfy that spooky itch and entertain your inner witch with us at Two Girls, One Ghost. But be warned, side effects might include a haunting or two, so listen at your own risk. Dun, dun, dun.
But today, we are here to tell you about a little game we like to play.
Wait, excuse me, we do not like to play.
Okay. That we would like to play.
Don't listen to Sabrina. She will mislead you here.
No, you're right. I definitely don't want to play this game, but there are some others. Just definitely not this one.
Yeah, please do not try this one at home. And we are not responsible for any hauntings that you experience should you not take our advisement and warning.
But if you do play the game, please email us and let us know what happened. 2girls1ghostpodcast@gmail.com.
This is the Japanese ritual game called Daruma-san, or the bath game. Over the years, we've discussed many different paranormal games, and this one has really, truly stuck with us. So if you'd like to listen to that full episode, it's episode 108, Rituals, on Two Girls, One Ghost. And again, we are warning you against playing, but every website that shares the information on this game also warns you against it. Their caution is more intense, so let's read that. This game is very dangerous. It can get you killed. It is important to play with caution.
Nevertheless, should we talk about it? Okay. It is called Daruma-san. It's also called the bath game, which is how we will refer to it moving forward. And it originated in Japan and is basically a game where you summon a ghost who will then try to follow you and try to catch you all day.
Why? Literally why?
Good question. The legend of the bathtub game is based on a story or a legend of a young girl named Daruma who died while taking a bath.
But not just any death. She apparently slipped and fell and died and was impaled by the faucet, which went through her eyeball.
It is said that the spirit of Daruma now waits to be summoned in order to catch you. And I feel like it's safe to say that no nice ghost would just be like sitting around waiting to catch you.
No.
And then it's like, yay, thanks for summoning me. Now I'm going to catch you. And then haunt you in your dreams for the rest of your life and torture you and do horrible things to you.
Nope. That's not a nice ghost protocol whatsoever. This is a demon. This is a dark ghost. This is not Casper. This is not friendly. So don't mess with it.
Agreed. So now that we have the background and that we've clearly expressed do not play this game or do not summon the spirit, do you want to tell everyone what you need in order to play the game, Corinne?
Yes, I do. So basically, all you need is yourself, shampoo, and a room with a bathtub. You cannot use only a shower. It could be a bathtub shower combo,
like we've got going on,
but it also has to at least have a bathtub.
So if you have that, then you're ready to play. And the game or ritual must begin at night, right before you go to bed.
Classic.
And it is necessary to follow the rules exactly. So you go into the bathroom, you fill the tub with warm water, and then once it's full, you undress, take off all your clothes, turn off all of the lights, close the bathroom door, and submerge yourself into the tub. And you have to make sure you're facing the faucet.
Yeah, once you are submerged, facing the tub faucet, you must close your eye.
Keep them closed. This is the most important rule, I think, keeping your eyes closed until it tells you to open them.
Yes. So eyes closed, and you begin to wash your hair. And from the moment you start washing your hair to the moment you finish washing your hair, you must chant the following.
Daruma-san fell down. Daruma-san fell down. Daruma-san fell down.
Over and over until you're done washing your hair, but you're still keeping your eyes closed.
And as you finish washing your hair, you will see in your mind's eye the image of a young Japanese woman standing in front of you, in front of the bathtub. And while this is frightening, do not move and do not open your eyes.
Yeah, this girl will look at you. She will stare deeply into your soul. And then immediately fall onto the faucet and it will go straight through her eye again. And as terrified as you may be by that, you still cannot open your eyes. You have to remain focused. You have to stay in the tub. You have to ask her, why did you fall in the bathtub?
And this is so important. After you ask that question, and before she can answer, you have to get up. Still, eyes closed. Get up, get out of the tub, exit the bathroom, close the door behind you, eyes still closed. Only then, only after closing the door behind you, can you then open your eyes.
And apparently, based on our research, there are some people who played this game and have said that she will try to trip you as you're trying to get out. And if you do open your eyes, the game is over. She's caught you.
So it's important, once again, to follow the rules to a T. Once you close the door behind you, you can then open your eyes. Do not go back into the bathroom. Do not drain the tub. And make sure you left the tub full. Crawl into bed and have sweet, sweet dreams. Because the game begins the very next morning when you wake up.
Oh, of course. After what was surely a very restful night's sleep, you wake up, the game has now officially begun. You can wake up, and now you can drain your tub. You will know the game has begun because you will feel a presence around you. And as you go on about your day, you'll continue to feel this presence around you, and it will be frightening, it will be unnerving, and you'll feel her presence, and you'll feel the need to look over your shoulder. And if you do, you might see that same spirit you saw in your mind's eye while in the tub. She's a woman with long black hair. Her eye is missing.
And if you see her, it means that she is too close. Her goal is to catch you, to get closer and closer to you until she can catch you. And if she catches you, you will lose. And I don't think you want to know what happens if you lose. It's not good.
Is there even a way to win?
Yes, there is, in fact. Thank you for asking, Corinne.
Okay.
If you see her, you can say the word tamare, which means stop. But when you say that, you must run and put space between you and this ghost demon. And you can only use this command, tamare, sparingly, because if you use it more and more each time you use it, it loses its power. So at some point, it becomes completely useless.
Great. And while you're concerned with this ghost catching you and wondering what the hell you got yourself into, you must also keep the following in mind. Avoid dark spaces,
AKA elevators, closets, basements, and cars.
Avoid running water,
AKA bathrooms, waterfalls, pedicures, going to the bathroom, peeing, the water cooler, filling up your Stanley mug.
Dark spaces and running water give the spirit more power, which enables her to catch you quicker.
Right. So now you're living and going through a day of hell. Your heart rate is through the roof. Your hair has probably turned gray. And you've developed an eye twitch and some trauma that you probably have to work through in therapy. But you only have yourself to blame. So, hopefully she hasn't caught you. And as night approaches, it is now time to end the game.
Ending the game must happen before midnight. And again, the rituals and rules must be followed to a T. We cannot stress that enough.
Seriously.
And in order to end the game, you must let Daruma come very, very close to you. You have to catch her in your gaze, which means you have to let her get close enough that you can make eye contact with her one eye.
But she isn't dumb, and apparently she knows that as it approaches midnight, you are going to try to end the game, and she will try to outsmart you and hide so that you cannot end it.
So it makes closing this game and finishing this game very, very difficult. Again, why would anyone play this? I don't know. But if you are able to get her into your gaze, you must yell, Kita, which means I cut you loose. And while you're saying this, Kita, you also must perform a motion with your arms like karate chopping type of thing. So you have to go, Kita, and you have to do it all at the same time. Kita!
If you do this incorrectly, you will lose. So everything is riding on you, remembering all of these rules, doing everything at the correct time in the correct way.
And often some of it is with your eyes closed, so you can't look at a cheat sheet. If it is done correctly, the game is over and she will disappear. But if you've not done it correctly, run. Run as fast as you can. You can try it again later, but if you do this right before midnight, you're screwed because once it reaches midnight, she's won the game.
Yep. There is one benefit. and it's that you don't have to wait until midnight to end the game. So basically you can wake up in the morning and be like, why the hell did I do that? You can try to end the game right then, but it still requires allowing her to get really, really close to you.
Right, yeah. So let's just say that if you are able to end the game properly and win, then congratulations.
Woohoo! Wow, we're really proud of you. If you're some masochist who decides, that was fun, I want to do it again, there's something that you should know and that you need to know.
The next time you play, you will resume at the same distance that you ended the last game in.
So say, she was the distance of Corinne and I to each other last time. If I were to play it again, this is how close we would start.
I don't think we have to say it again, but you do not want to play this game.
Seriously, because if you lose and she catches you, she will either harm you physically, taunt you, reappear in your dreams night after night, or possess you. And that is Daruma-san, the bath game.
Yeah, reminder, do not play this game.
But if you do, email us about your experience. And listen to Two Girls, One Ghost podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts or watch us on YouTube.
And we will see you on the other side.
Well, there goes my self-care Sundays.
I'd say this couldn't get any worse, but I keep calling Amanda and it just goes straight to voicemail.
Hey, you've reached Amanda's phone. If you're hearing this instead of ringing, you probably got blocked.
I think most of us saw that coming.
2 girls, 1 ghosted.
It could just be a service issue. I'll keep trying her.
I'm starting the next podcast so we can finish this on time. I guess this spooky iPod is about to play us an episode from Live, Laugh, Larceny.
Like the hobby store decor?
No, that's love.
Exactly! There's no way she ghosted me.
I'm hitting play now.
The Monster Mash was a graveyard smash, or so sang Bobby Boris Pickett in his 1962 Halloween hit. Originally written as a parody of D.D. Sharp's Mashed Potato Time, Bobby sold his soul to the dark arts, summoning a parade of creatures from the depths, all in the name of reaching Billboard's Top 100. And for decades, his evil plan has worked. Each year, people turn on the 60s rock and roll hit to get into the spooky mood, bopping to lyrics about vampires feasting, baying hounds, and jolting partygoers with electrodes. They cut a rug to the mention of the Transylvania twist and raise their stiffened arms like Frankenstein's monster awkwardly trying to get down. But over the years, in our desensitized delight, we've forgotten one crucial thing about this sinister tune: the horrors. Could you imagine actually being a +1 to the Monster Mash? Sure, the Crypt Kicker 5 may have some catchy tunes, but good luck enjoying yourself after catching a whiff of the zombie at the end of the bar. And would you even think about accepting a drink from Igor? That guy's got a wandering eye I just don't trust. My point is, Bobby Pickett brought the Monster Mash to life in 1962. He invited the likes of the Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. For what? $1 million in royalties every year? Sure, the money's nice, but at what cost? The song is as immortal as the holiday it celebrates, but how many other Bobby Pickett hits can you name? I dare say that man's soul may still be trapped in the undead nightmare he created. There's no doubt the Monster Mash made Bobby Pickett a very rich man, but when you play with the forces of darkness, you can't always control what happens next. Which is exactly why no one had attempted a Monster Mash of their own since, until a Colorado entrepreneur decided to resurrect the mash in 2016, hoping for a similar return. But as history shows, some mashes are better left in the graveyard. A red-eye flight to Thailand, hardly the most fitting setting for Halloween, but somehow even more unsettling. The stress of air travel, the odd hours, and a holiday notorious for ghostly encounters all converged into something ominous. Stakes were high, and so was our main character. Andrew pressed the assistance button located above his seat, his body tense beneath a smile that was more forced than confident.
How may I help you, sir?
Is there any way I can get the Wi-Fi password? It's kind of an emergency.
Andrew asked urgently.
Oh my, you've got the right person for the job.
The stewardess responded cheerfully.
I'm actually the one who came up with today's in-flight Wi-Fi password. In honor of the holiday, I made it Spooky Balls 420 with a Z.
Andrew quickly typed in the password and connected, only to be greeted by a pop-up on the screen.
What is it?
The stewardess asked, gently touching Andrew's shoulder.
A mandatory update. I swear I don't have time for this.
He exclaimed, dropping his iPad onto his tray table.
If it helps pass the time,
the stewardess said with a sympathetic smile,
you can tell me what's got you so worked up. I know how hard it can be to unplug from the internet.
Andrew looked down, mulling over the odd exchange, but eventually deciding to open up.
I'm the owner of Bootsy Bellows, Aspen, Colorado's premier speakeasy-style lounge, featuring top-notch cocktails, great music, wild puppetry, and live performances.
Andrew said, flashing his brightest smile.
Right now, my nightclub is hosting the event of a lifetime, my very first costume party bash. I spent the last 3 months planning it, and here I am, stuck in a conversation with you instead of checking out how it's going.
I was wondering about that.
The stewardess responded.
What brings a successful nightclub owner to Thailand on Halloween night instead of enjoying his own party?
Andrew replied.
You know, if someone were to write an article about this moment, they'd probably leave out that detail.
He continued.
I had the hottest dance hits queued up, an ecto-cooler punch that could raise the dead, and the guest list was stacked with all the Halloween essentials. I had Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, 8 different Harley Quinns, and more scantily clad cartoon characters than I could count. This is my Monster Mash, but sexier and with a cover charge.
The stewardess lightly nodded her head in the direction of the iPad, completing its download and beginning to reboot.
It looks like we killed the perfect amount of time,
she said kindly.
I'll leave you to it. It's my turn to give back rubs to first class. Enjoy Thailand.
With the tablet screen still stuck on the brand logo, Andrew gazed out at the clouds high above the Pacific Ocean. In an instant, he was teleported to the dance floor of Bootsy Bellows, engulfed in royalty-free dance hits and a whirlwind of terrifyingly good times. His braided yarn spiderweb decor looked eerily realistic under the dim lights, and the monsters in attendance were having the time of their afterlives. Frankenstein and his bride were arguing about his drinking problem. The Wolfman was wolfing down nightmare nachos, and a group of zombies were struggling to keep up on the dance floor with their 2 left feet.
Seriously, does anyone know who these feet belong to?
The ecto-cooler had caused the Headless Horseman to lose his mind for the second time. And Patrick Starr in drag was graciously welcomed into the parade of Harley Quinns.
Don't touch me, I'm sterile.
Andrew took a deep breath, convinced this was exactly what was happening back in Aspen. Even if the Facebook photos didn't quite live up to his wild expectations, he knew he'd be satisfied if they came close. But before he could conjure up any more ghoulish scenarios from his party, a sudden wave of notification sounds shattered his trance. Andrew's eyes locked into the first of many messages flooding his screen, an all-caps text from one of his gal pals.
Everyone's gone!
Ignoring the surge of panic in his chest, he unlocked his phone and swiped through the notifications, heading straight for his email. Sure enough, there it was, a message from his GM, Andy, with the subject line, Halloween Party Incident Report. With a shaky finger, he tapped the email and braced himself as he began reading its overly detailed contents.
Dear Mr. Sandler, it is with a heavy heart that I write this email, detailing an incident that occurred this evening during Bootsy Bellows' first Halloween costume party bash. Because I know you prefer good news first, let me start with the positives. The party went off without a hitch, sir. Your yarn spiderweb was so realistic, it made the Wolfman howl. No one complained about the cover charge, and all the Harley Quinns knew the same choreographed dance moves.
Let's go, daddy's little monsters.
As the sexy Margot Robbie wannabes twerked to your masterfully curated list of copyright-free Halloween dance hits, The mummies were unraveling from the heat. The best cure for their discomfort? The ecto-cooler punch. We sold even more than you had anticipated. Record sales by 10:30 p.m. My vision had been so fixated on the dollars pouring in that my other senses had temporarily shut down, namely my sense of smell. My first sign of trouble came when a scream from Patrick Star in drag rose above the music, immediately drawing my attention to the stampede of chaotic characters rushing my way. The smell soon followed. As I ducked for cover, stilettos, hooves, and other various types of monster feet rushed past me, leaving me face to face with the source of the putrid panic. There, amidst the smoke and the laser lights, lay a turd spattered across the dance floor's lighted squares. But before I could respond with an appropriate level of dramatics, Igor turned on the lights, leaving me to confront the poop in a well-lit room. The dark coloration had a style akin to Dracula, or perhaps his son, while the consistency suggested it could have came from the Swamp Thing. I've also heard from a friend, who is definitely not me, that some local dealers have been cutting coke with baby laxatives lately. It's entirely possible someone could have been hitting the slopes without realizing they ingested a laxative. I can't help but wonder which of our customers might have been indulging in nose candy at our esteemed establishment, and I shudder at the possibilities. Frankenstein has already started down a dark path. The Headless Horseman has been riding one for centuries, and the Wolfman has 3 pups at home. All I know is that if anyone asks, I'll insist it had to be a woman, since they're known to wear dresses. It would be much harder for a man to discreetly remove his pants and poop on the floor, even with all the costume options available for easy access. Regardless, I cleaned it up with my bare hands and used bleach, hoping to attract people back. Let me just get that. You can all get back to dancing. It didn't work. Dracula declared he'd never bring his son here again, while Frankenstein and his bride retreated to their back seat to monster smash. I didn't issue any refunds though, so it wasn't a total shit show. I will continue my investigation with full expectation of additional payment for acting in your stead. Enjoy Thailand, Andy.
Andrew stared out the open window of his airplane, gazing into the pitch-black Halloween sky. A weight settled in his chest as he thought of his Aspen patrons trapped in a crap-filled night of terror.
I can smell it on my costume!
He felt helpless, yearning to ease their suffering from thousands of miles away. Then, an idea sparked. In this age of digital connection, perhaps he could still make a difference. With a determined breath, he logged into Facebook, ready to heal with humor. On Halloween night of 2016, Bootsy Bellows, an Aspen, Colorado nightclub, was evacuated after an unknown partygoer pinched a loaf in the middle of the dance floor. According to information acquired by the Aspen Times, the bowel movement occurred around 12:45 a.m., prompting guests to make a movement of their own off the dance floor. Club owner Andrew Sandler was on a flight to Thailand during the party, where he learned of the happenings through frantic messages from friends.
My iPad starts blowing up,
Sandler told the Aspen Times.
I'm getting these texts, and one of my gal pals says, someone shit on the dance floor, and everyone fled.
In an attempt to bring levity to his friends and customers back home, Andrew posted on Facebook,
I have a message to the Phantom Crapper. Have you no shame, sir/madam?
The post garnered significant attention, with locals making jokes and sharing horror stories. However, no one was more incensed than Bootsy Bellows' GM, Andy Papani, who commented,
I literally had to pick up poo with my hands and bleach the shit out of the dance floor.
Sandler also shared his baby laxative theory and his thoughts on why it was most likely a woman. By the time the articles were published, the monstrous mudmaker was still at large, and Bootsy Bellows ultimately closed its doors in 2020 after a COVID violation, potentially a separate story of its own. Whether you're spending Halloween in a coven with your best school friends or flying solo, don't let your gathering turn into a monster mash. Sure, the story might sound unforgettable and could even land you in a yearly spot on the charts, but you also risk a Bootsy Bellows situation where someone leaves a chocolate stranger on your floor. So whatever you do, I hope you avoid a monster mash situation of your own, but at the very least, try to keep your party feces-free. From Amanda and Trevin at Live Laugh Larceny, have a hauntingly happy Halloween!
Ooh.
Bye!
See ya!
I've been on all-night ghost hunts that were easier to stomach than this scat chat. Murder, spooky, shoot, even a week in the Paris catacombs. I've survived it all, but poop? No, I draw the line there, and I suggest you do the same.
I liked it.
You can't go. We need to do this together.
I came here to summon the dead, not raise a stink.
We've come too far to stop now. The spirits need our help.
Then I'm hitting play on the next episode. It appears to be a show called Ladies and Tangents.
No way. I love them too.
I'm just glad the show name doesn't sound scary.
What's up, everyone? Hello. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Sierra.
And we're ladies who tangent.
And today we have some chilling Halloween myths / urban legends that we have found on this website that we're going to tell you about and kind of bust some of these myths.
I know the rest of this has probably been ooky spooky, super scary, and you're probably like, honestly, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. But we're here to be the little comedy show that you put on after the scary movie that will help you go to sleep, except we're still talking about Halloween.
A little bit, but we're going to try to make it lighthearted. So I'm going to tell you right now about the ghost of Anne Boleyn.
Hey,
what?
How about I don't want to hear about her?
Too bad. Do you know about Anne Boleyn?
I've never heard about Anne Boleyn in my life.
So Anne Boleyn.
I don't know why every time I say it, I feel like I'm saying it incorrectly.
Me too.
Anne Boleyn?
Not Amberlyn.
Anne Boleyn?
Anne Boleyn.
Anne Boleyn?
I think.
Why do I have an accent?
I don't know. All of a sudden we're from Alabama.
Is my goes Anne Boleyn.
So, Greenbow, Alabama. The tragic tale of Anne Boleyn, famously beheaded by her husband, the notorious King Henry. Oh, fuck. These are Roman numerals.
Oh, no. Wait a minute.
The 8th. King Henry the 8th.
Okay.
It's
he do be cutting.
I.
Yep. He do be cutting women's heads off.
Yeah. Captivated.
Captivated and decapitated.
No. Wait. Her story captivated countless imagination.
Her story captivated. Her head decapitated. Hey, big rip. I don't believe it.
Immediately off the rails. However, throughout the years, her untimely demise has given rise to numerous chilling accounts of her ghastly.
Her what?
Cut. Strike it. Do it again. Ghostly apparitions. I felt rude that I called her ghastly.
Hey, everyone was spooked at this ghastly bitch.
But what I mean is her ghostly apparitions, particularly on the eerie night of Halloween.
I see how you got the ghastly
I'm
now.
sorry. Yeah, dude. I just kind of mashed them together.
Yeah.
Anyways, witnesses often claim to have encountered her spectral figure near the historic Tower of London, the very site where her life was unjustly taken away. So that's it. There's no other.
They're just talking about the lore of this apparition that people sometimes see.
Which is just like, yeah, apparently they just you see her because
she's not at rest.
She's not at rest.
She's not at rest because some guy couldn't produce an heir and biology wasn't fully fleshed out by then, and he blamed her.
Oh, you know about her.
I don't know about her specifically, but I know that Henry VIII was like, you're not going to give me an heir. I'm cutting off your head.
Ew.
I'm pretty sure it was because either they couldn't bear children or they couldn't give him a son and he would cut their heads off.
Ew.
I could be completely wrong. I'm just saying something with a lot of confidence.
Okay, that's
Leave
fair.
it in the comments below if I'm so wrong about this ghastly apparition.
Please. Because the next one I'm going to tell you is about the curse of the mummy.
Like mummy as in wrapped in toilet paper, or mummy as in like
mummy? No.
Mother of England.
This is a real mummy.
Okay.
And I don't know how it became a thing over here, but I guess we're going to find out. So, apparently there was a discovery of King Tut's tomb by British.
Is that who it is?
Yes.
Or were you just like, you know what? Whoever this is Tut.
Yes, but it gave the full name, and I know that I can't pronounce that correctly.
I kind of want to see what the
Will you
name
try?
is. Yes, I'll try. Oh, no, I won't.
Okay, so King Tut.
Tutankhamons.
Okay.
I didn't do that.
That's okay.
Please
King
don't hold
Tut's,
that against me.
I'm so sorry.
Don't hold that that wording against, or the mummy. Don't put that mummy anywhere near me.
Don't, please. By British archaeologist Howard Carter in 1922, the enduring legend suggests that anyone who dares to disturb the sacred dwelling of a mummy will be cursed with misfortune and ill fate. Well, yeah. I mean,
you're
I feel
disturbing the dead.
I feel like I feel like that goes with any resting place of a deceased person.
Yeah.
This haunting belief.
What's that called if you just like
I want to say grave digging. I don't think that's what you're talking about.
No, but I mean, it kind of is. It's like when you disrupt the resting place of someone.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's a
word.
term.
I don't know it.
And that's not the place we're not to know, I guess.
Not for us right now. However, this haunting belief has captivated the imaginations of people worldwide and has become a prominent and chilling theme in Halloween storytelling, adding an air of mystery and intrigue to the ancient specters that rise from their dust-covered tombs. Is this the time? I think that we should talk about the grave where we live.
Ah, yes. There's been an urban legend ever since we were kids about a warlock who was buried in a cemetery near us. I actually pass it quite frequently.
Yes.
It's called Warlock's Grave, and allegedly, you can tell me if I'm incorrect, because I don't know that I know the full story. Or you know how when you tell like local legends, every time you hear it from someone, it's like different.
A little bit. It's like the game Telephone.
What I was told is that he was also decapitated, and his head was actually at his feet. And every so many years, his head was supposed to get closer and closer to his body, and then it would reattach, and he would come back to like I don't know, avenge himself.
The tombstone that is the focal point of this legend is a black rectangle made up of long black stones near the back of the graveyard. The legend has it that the nameless warlock that was buried there was decapitated, and his head was placed between his legs.
Oh, between where between? Because now
in between at his feet.
At his feet, okay.
And encased into the black stone in order to prevent any possible resurrection, because when he was exactly what you just said was what they believed would happen. So they thought if they placed the stone on it, it couldn't move.
Oof.
Legend goes on to say that each year his head supposedly edges closer to his neck due to the irresistible pull of his will, and when the head reaches the neck, he will rise from the dead and wreak havoc on the local community.
Can I tell you that
by the way, the gravestone,
it's cracked.
It's cracked.
It's cracked.
Which is why people believe that it's actually happening, because the stone that was placed on top is cracked in half.
And I will tell you that even though I just said all of those words to you,
when
I still got chills when you read it back to me.
It's also said that down the hill, there's supposed to be additional graves where witches known to the warlock are buried. And legend has it that the witches would rise from their grave at night to haunt the local townspeople and get their revenge for what they did to both them and their warlock.
Yes. I got chills again. You know what? There's a lot of times that I hear these urban legends and I don't think much of it. But for whatever reason, I still have this like kind of feeling that is true.
Yes.
And that he is going to come back, or that he already has.
Those legends that we've been hearing as children. This next one is one that we've both heard, and it's the babysitter and the man upstairs.
Yes.
Do you remember this story?
Yes.
So what I believe, if this is the same one, is that there is there might be two different ones.
I think there's a couple different ones. The one that I was told that made me terrified to be a babysitter.
Was it the dog?
It was the clown.
Okay, tell it.
So the story that I had always heard was the babysitter would go to check on the kid who was asleep, and the kid would keep crying, and she would go in and he would say, "I'm afraid of the clown." And so she would put him back to sleep, console him, say everything's okay. And then he'd call her back in and he's like, "I'm just afraid of the clown in the corner. I'm afraid of the clown in the corner." And when the parents get home, the babysitter says, "Hey, I just want to let you know your child was having a really hard time sleeping because he's afraid of that stuffed clown that you have in the corner." And they were like, "We don't have a stuffed clown." And so then the babysitter's like, I don't think I'm ever going to come back here again. This is the first time I think I've told you something and there's been tears in your eyes.
I hate it.
But yeah, always, again, was another thing where I was like, I'm afraid to babysit because if I I'm fucking going up and punching every stuffed animal straight in their face, dude. Yeah.
Well,
I'm about to find out if you're stuffed.
The other one is the kid, but also the babysitter, where they are going to bed, and the child is saying that they're afraid to go to bed. So the babysitter's like, just go upstairs and go to sleep. And they go upstairs, but they're afraid of the dark. So they put their put their hand down, and their dog licks their hand. Okay.
Yes,
the dog
to console them.
is underneath the bed and is licking their hand, and they're like, okay, I'm okay, and goes back to sleep, and then wakes up and is afraid, and the babysitter comes in and the dog licks their hand again. And then the babysitter goes to the bathroom and sees that the dog is dead in the bathroom. And so that means that the clown's licking his hand. Oh my God. Why do people say this to children?
My dad tells this ghost story. Okay.
Do you want to know the story that my dad told me?
I would love
as a ghost story. Well, I'll tell you, it wasn't a ghost story. It was the story. And then at the end of it, he goes, and the man's name was Jeffrey Dahmer. He told me the whole story. Like at a Halloween campfire of fucking Jeffrey Dahmer. I was like, hey, Dad, I'm 6. Why would you do this to me?
My dad's the one who told me about Warlock's grave. Like, he's the one. And we actually used to play pranks on the basketball team. We would choose a freshman to leave at Warlock's grave. And so we would take the whole basketball team up there, and then we would leave. And then when we would get back to our rally point, we'd be like, oh my gosh, so-and-so's missing. And the person who we left knew that they were going to be left.
Yeah.
And my dad was actually at the grave, and he would go, woo, 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 woo. That's why everyone would run. Yeah. And then he would take whoever the chosen freshman was, and he would give them a ride back. Horrifying. But everyone who was not aware of that was happening would be terrified that we just fucking left someone to get sacrificed to the warlock.
What the fuck is wrong with
That's
adults?
also not what I was going to tell you. That's what I was going to say. This has just become like creepy stories that our parents have told us. The other night I was at my dad's for a fire, and my sons were like, we should tell ghost stories.
Oh yeah,
and now
that time of the year.
My kids are 5 and 4.
Yes.
And so they tell ghost stories, and they're not good at it. They tell like
terrible.
They're so terrible. They'll tell like there's monsters in the trees and the shadows, and they're here to eat you. But then we found them other food, and then they weren't hungry anymore, and then they went away. Like, that's how they tell ghost stories.
Your ghost story's terrible. I'm going to tell you about Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, sit down real fast. Let me tell you about this dead licking dog. No, but my dad always
this woman with the scarf around her neck.
Oh,
it's because her head wasn't attached.
My dad always told the same one. He would say, "There's these people, and they're walking by this haunted house, and they hear this calling, and if the log rolls over, we will all be dead." And then they get closer and it gets louder. If the log rolls over, we will all be dead. So they go up onto the porch and they go into the house, and they try to figure out where the sound's coming from. If the log rolls over, we will all be dead. And they walk upstairs and it's coming from the bathroom. If the log rolls over, we will all be dead. And at this point, I'm a child and I'm like, this is so fucking scary. What log? And then he's like,
who are these people?
It's 3 flies sitting on a piece of poop.
Your dad told me that story too.
I know, my dad loves telling that story.
It's a really good story.
And you know what my ghost story was?
What?
I don't know why, but my dad and I then got into using lyrics to tell ghost stories. Okay. So I'm like, there was a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. And I'm telling you, and you can do this with any song, and it's the most fucking fun thing in the entire world. Because then it's, there was also a small town boy born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. Streetlights, shadows, up and down the boulevard. People searching in the night. It sounds so scary, but it is just Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Incredible. Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you that the babysitter upstairs legend in the babysitter.
I love that all was just about
just this.
Yeah. Hey guys, if you've never listened to our podcast before,
we do tangent.
That's the tangent part of Ladies and Tangents.
I apologize. A babysitter finds herself in a spine-chilling situation as she receives ominous phone calls, only to discover
the calls coming from inside the house.
That's fucking creepy. This bone-chilling story has not only captivated audiences, but has also served as... See, you're not telling me... You're telling me what it is. You're not telling me where it's from. It just...
Okay.
Oh my
Jesus,
God,
we
dude,
won't critique your work anymore.
Shit. But also served as an inspiration for numerous horror films, leaving a lasting impression on... I was
going to say it's a big trope. It's a big horror film trope, for sure.
Because what's scarier than that? Genuinely... What is scarier when caller ID, before it was even a thing?
Yes.
You would have to dial a number and they could tell you where the call was coming from.
Yes.
Correct? Do you remember?
Or you could dial star 69 and it would call them back.
Yes.
Or
so
star
then
67. I forget.
Do that and then that phone would start ringing. The phone inside.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's inside the house.
I think that's a metaphor. I think that's something we all need to lead with.
The call's coming from inside all of us.
It is. And
hey,
you're
guess what?
the problem.
I'm not picking up.
I don't want to pick up.
I'm leaving the house and the kids inside of it. Bye.
Anyway, what a fantastic, wonderful, thrilling holiday we've had here.
We have.
I don't
tried to.
We really have. I don't know where we are in the lineup, but if this is the end, I hope that it's not the end for us in general. I hope that we will all carry on once this is done. You know what I mean?
So true, dude.
Yeah. Wait, we don't know who you are. Some of you maybe. Those of you who found us on our own feed.
Well, I love you so much.
We do love you so much.
We love the ones that haven't too.
Yeah, and you as well. We give our love to you. Come back and give it back to us.
Yeah.
Give it back.
Give it back right now.
We love you guys so much. Well, tell us about your ghost stories that your dad's told you and shouldn't have.
Please.
We'll see you next time.
All right.
We're out.
Goodbye.
I actually like that one. If we make it out of here alive, consider me subscribed.
As great as that podcast was, I can't shake this heavy sense of dread. I think it's time to start thinking about my own well-being first.
But what about raising the spirits and counseling for the undead?
It's starting to feel a lot like laundry on a Sunday. I had every intention, but now that it's real, I just don't have the energy. I believe in you too, though.
Holy shit! That sounded intense.
No kidding. I don't think we can turn back now. With any luck, Cassie will join the army of the dead before we raise them.
Hopefully this last episode from And That's Why We Drink gives her enough time for the recruitment process.
And That's Why We Drink? That's Christine Schiefer's podcast, the girl that left earlier.
That lemon-scented lady knew what she was doing leaving when she did. Maybe I should go too.
Don't go. We can do this. For Timmy Whisker Tits.
You're right. This is for Timmy Whisker Tits. You're gonna love him, Alicia. When he's not on blow, he's the sweetest guy.
Let's do what we came here to do. It's time to listen to a podcast.
Welcome to the And That's Why We Drink portion of tonight's spooky Halloween event. How do you feel being in the midst of creepy season?
In the midst, I am very excited. I've been doing a lot of, let's see, what have I been doing? A lot of eating.
Let me guess. Autumnal things.
Autumnal things, eating a lot of trick-or-treat candy because we overbought because we thought now that we live in a house, we would have trick-or-treaters. I ended up eating half the candy. What'd you do?
Oh, I was just kind of living vicariously through your experiences. We did quite a few apple orchard, very picturesque stuff this year. We were in New England last month doing like, all that fall autumnal crap. So it's been a really lovely and spooky time, but I like when it starts to get a little actually scary. Like the actual scary Halloween stuff.
Yeah, because you're sick. That's why.
Because I'm sick in the head.
Okay, why? Tell me, what's going on? What's up in the sick, spooky, scary world you've got for me, Christine?
I'm so happy you asked. I was trying for a long time to figure out, this is also very, and that's why we drink coded. I was just kind of sitting there trying to figure out what to talk about for 10 minutes, knowing we'd find time to talk, like find something to talk about. But I thought maybe we should have a little structure. And so, for everyone else's sake at least. So what I did, I've been listening to a podcast I really like called The Dark House Podcast, which is made by House Beautiful, like the magazine. And it's really good. And they actually had a blog of real stories submitted, like scary stories. And so I picked a couple out of those because it's been a while since I've found actually spooky stories that aren't just like, no sleep or like fake ones or like Fictional, I mean, not fake. That sounds
nice.
That sounds a lot meaner than I intended it to be.
The bullshit ones.
You know, all those assholes who make up beautiful stories for a living? No. No, seriously. I never find the scary stories anymore. I feel like I've read all the ones on Reddit, so I was excited that Dark House did a little listicle. So I have a couple for you, Em.
Okay.
And I want to know if these scared you, because I picked the 3 that I thought scared me the most, or actually like gave me a little shiver.
Okay.
Shiver.
Well, let me ignite the chills then.
Okay, get them ready to go. We'll get the goose cam zoomed in. Okay. This is from Mallory in Minneapolis, and I cannot stress this enough. Mallory did not send this to me. Mallory sent this to Dark House. Or House
Mallory.
Beautiful, and it's on their website. I'm just reading it. Okay. I'm just a messenger here. I was at my friend's house and we had a psychic come over. My friend asked if there were any ghosts in the house, and the psychic said there were 2, one of which was a bad man who never lived in the house but likes to slither around the neighborhood, likes bathrooms and dark spaces, and likes to scare people.
Didn't have to say the word slither, Mallory.
That's what got me. I'm so glad, because I screenshot it the second I saw that. I immediately flashed back to a year prior when I got locked in the bathroom under the stairs on the main floor. There was no lock, and when I screamed, my boyfriend came to help me. And when he came, the door opened easily. The bathroom had a dark navy blue wallpaper with a gold snake pattern.
Forget it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, you know what? Now I see why you used slither, just to really prime us for this moment, but I still hated it, and I hated it again when the snake showed up.
Concept of a sentient entity going from house to house, just seeing who he can scare, is so bad. It's so much worse than a house just being, a ghost just being stuck in a house, I think.
Yeah.
To have one that is mobile.
And guess how they're mobile? They're not walking.
They're just slithering around into your pipes and shit. Like, what? That is just the creepiest thing I've ever heard. And the fact that like there could be one in the corner and you wouldn't even know. Oh my God. Anyway.
I hate it. I hate
it. Here's another one. This was sent in to not us by Megan.
Well, because, okay.
Well, you know how we feel about Megans anyway. It's fine. Yeah. We didn't want your story anyway, Megan.
Yeah, but we're going to read it, damn it.
We're going to read it because it's good, and I actually lied because I do like it. Okay, here it is. I grew up in upstate New York, and my childhood home was on a country road with little to no traffic. One time when I was in my backyard playing with my dog, his ears suddenly perked up and his entire body stiffened.
No.
I watched as he trotted around the side of our house. I thought he heard my dad come home, but it was clear that my dad's car wasn't there. I tried to walk around him so I could see a different angle to the street, but he quickly shifted to block me from stepping past him. So the dog is like, you can't go. And like,
I love that this dog was scared and also remained protective, because I would be scared and totally forget about all other people.
Gia would run in the fucking opposite direction and give zero craps about me.
Yeah,
like,
if I were a dog, I'd be in the other direction now, and you're on your own.
And I, to be honest, probably wouldn't blame you. I'd be like, yeah, dog, your instinct says run away. But I love that this dog's like, no, you're more important to me. I mean, it couldn't be Gio, but...
It's whatever. The Hallmark movie we all wish we were experiencing.
I know. It's kind of what you think is going to happen when you get a dog, I feel like, and then never actually happens.
I like where like this is the Hallmark experience where something so fucking scary is happening that your own dog is like highly aware.
Okay, well, what if it's like the Lifetime? You know how they got into like crime stories? Maybe it's like that. It's like a soap opera crime story. You know, you want your dog to really care about you, but they never really do, unless you're Megan, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep reading. It's like, honestly, probably most people listening to this are like, my dog would protect me. Maybe it's just Gio.
Maybe it's just your shitty dog and my invisible dog, who already is the equivalent of Gio.
I think you're projecting and I'm just having a sad experience. Okay. I tried to walk around the dog so I could see a different angle to the street, but he quickly shifted to block me from stepping past him. It was not typical behavior from him, and I immediately felt like something was off. Then his head whipped towards the driveway and he stared down the street.
Forget it.
When I followed his gaze, I saw what looked like a woman with a shawl blowing behind her. She ran down the street, passing our driveway. There were no distinguishing features. Her figure was just blackish gray, almost like a three-dimensional shadow. A few seconds later, another figure appeared behind her, chasing after her. He was taller and wearing a top hat. They passed the opening of our driveway within seconds, and I lost visibility of them because the other side of our driveway was covered with dense, tall pine trees. They never came out on the other side of the trees. They just disappeared.
Forget it.
And my dog's body relaxed as soon as they left. Ooh.
I wonder if your dog was just like a fashionista and was like, thank God that shawl is out of my way.
Get that poncho off my block. That shawl is offending me. You know what's so creepy? Oh, I have goose cam from this for real. What I wonder too is if the dog could sense them coming because they hadn't even arrived yet. Like the dog was like, something's about to happen.
It's like, and then, I smell a faux paw.
A fashion faux pas. But, oh, that's so creepy. And doesn't it make you wonder if it's like a replay from the past? Like if a man was chasing this woman.
Oh, immediately. Like,
in like
it could sense something residual was floating around.
Which is
a memory.
Scary because it might be something really bad. Like Megan should check if somebody was killed
in the woods.
Street.
Yeah, or like off into the trees and never came out.
In that neighborhood or something. And the fact that the dog sensed it from the backyard too, even though there was no sound, forget it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was scary. That scared me. Okay, and now
me too.
Okay.
Next, let's do one more because I don't like this.
I have one more. Okay, this is the last one. Again, I did take this from House Beautiful, which, by the way, love that publication. So
you better because you're stealing content. I better
because I'm taking all their content. Okay, here's number 3. This was sent in to them by Jillian.
Hi, Jillian.
When I moved into the house I'm living in, it came with my landlord's indoor-outdoor cat, Rosie. So we're saying indoor/outdoor, so both. Her bed and food were in the garage, which she had access to with a cat door. Rosie's best friend was Chester, a ginger tabby across the street. After a couple of years, Rosie fell ill, and I took her to the vet, where she died during the night. A couple of days later, I went out to the garage to clean up her food and bed, and found every cat in the neighborhood, including Chester, sitting in a circle in the garage.
That's the most demonic shit I've ever seen in my life.
They all turned and looked at me. I slowly backed out. I assumed they were having a memorial seance.
Yeah. Sorry. Was this like at night? Or during the day?
Nope, just during the day, cleaning up the garage, and goes in there where the cat bed and bowl used to be or where they are for Rosie, and all the cats have gathered like in a circle, like as a memorial almost at her bedside. Oh my God.
I didn't know if it was dark because I just imagined all their little light up eyes glowing when they all turned to look at you.
No, it looks like it was just the middle of the day. Okay. Unless she likes to clean up the garage in the middle of the night, which, not the best idea. Then Jillian, then it's kind of your fault. Sorry. A couple days later, I went out to the garage to clean up her food and bed and found every cat in the neighborhood, including Chester's. Imagine your cat dies. You're about to go clean up their bed. You open the door and there's like 15 cats.
It's like
that is so frightening.
All of her girlfriends.
They're all gathered together today. They all turned and looked at me. I slowly backed out. I assumed they were having a memorial, a seance. I had never found any other cats inside, and I have never have since. It was odd.
It was like she was either summoning them or
it
they
sounds
could
like
smell
they know
her
she
there.
Passed away, maybe, and they just were there to like give a little honor,
have their moment, or they smelled her. They smelled her available food.
But that's not circle behavior. If you're sitting crisscross applesauce, you're not desperate for food yet.
That's true. No, in a very no longer lifetime, back to Hallmark, it is very sweet that all of them would be in a circle saying their goodbyes maybe together.
Aww. And the fact that this was a cat that lived there before you even got there, a neighborhood cat, 21 years. Wow. Anyway, I thought I'd end on a more lighthearted note, but thank you, Em, for joining me today on this edition of Christine steals scary stories from the internet, but profusely apologizes and gives all the sources over and over again.
Well, thank you for telling me them. They're a good ending to a very spooky season.
That's right. Happy Halloween, everyone. Happy autumn. Fall is the best time of the year, in my opinion, and most basic white girl's opinion, but that's okay.
Mary Samhain.
Mary Samhain also. We love it. We're witchy. We're here for it. And enjoy the rest of the segments on this whole special. I cannot wait.
I was also visited by a circle of cats after Timmy's passing.
That has to be a sign that you're going to see him again.
Thank you for helping me. We made it through a 5-podcast binge in one night. I haven't done that since I worked an antisocial office job.
To be honest, I did it on my way here.
Oh, shit.
I knew that a podcast playlist this good had to come with supernatural consequences. It's just too powerful.
Timmy, is that you?
Christina? Christina.
What? Sorry, what? What's up?
We're in the middle of recording. You just fell asleep again.
Damn it.
Are you going to read that review for that iPod Halloween collab thing that you did?
Oh, yes. Of course. My bad. The Necronomicon iPod special was the worst thing I've ever experienced. While raising the army of the dead, I also managed to resurrect my cat, who then ate my landlord. Now I'm stuck with a man-eating cat and no way to get my security deposit back. 1 star. Wait a second. Oh my god. That wasn't a dream?
Sounds more like a nightmare. I'm not listening to that thing.
Alexander, you might not get the chance to anyway.
Thank you for listening to Playlist of the Dead, written and produced by Trevin Bartee of Live Laugh Larceny. Starring Alicia of Twisted and Uncorked, Cassie of PNW Haunts and Homicides, Kadra of Perplexity, a mystery podcast, Trevin and Amanda of Live Laugh Larceny, Christine Schiefer of And That's Why We Drink and Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet, with a special appearance from Zandy Schiefer, also from Beach Too Sandy. Original art by the very talented Pop Gunflow, featuring clips from Creeps and Crimes, Two Girls, One Ghost, Live Laugh Larceny, Ladies and Tangents, and That's Why We Drink. Links are in the show notes for each and every one of these amazing creators. Thank you again, and have a happy Halloween.